Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do, the usual disclaimers. If you are unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links all right there in the description box. Sorry, itchy folks. In particular, please go ahead and take note of the article that is written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called Behavior Modification Program. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read this article so much. They've threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit. They did not remove it from the website. Please, folks, NeuroClastic has refused. Read that article. Share it on all your social media. We also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe, just in case the JRC decides to see through with their threat. Trigger warning number 1. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please use your headphones. And I'm sorry, sensory issues are going nuts this morning. So if you got young children present, folks, please go ahead and utilize the headphones. Trigger warning number 2. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. All right, where we left off last video. Now we're going to have some Republican word salad. Yay! Kill me. This principle applies with equal force to so-called modern administrative state, Michigan versus EPA. Federal agencies are creatures of statute. They possess only the powers that Congress confers upon them. Brown versus Georgetown University. If no statute confers authority to a federal agency, it has none. Gee, ya think? If Congress has forbidden an agency from taking action, the agency cannot so act. Okay, explain to me, like I'm 5, in what way has Congress said that the FDA cannot ban a device that has been shown to cause horrific harm? I want you to show me that big type and explain it to me like I'm 5. Because my basic understanding is that the FDA has every single right to ban a device that is considered to show that it could cause significant harm. It's more Republican psychobabble. See FDA versus Brown Williamson Tobacco Company. Oh, Jesus Christ. Again, we're going to throw in lawsuits that have absolutely nothing to do with the subject at hand. Accordingly, federal agencies like the FDA are doubly restricted. They may only exercise the powers Congress has delegated to them, and that the delegation itself must be a lawful exercise of Congress's constitutional authority. Here we go again. But they're trying to tailor it, Tiffany. They're trying to say that you can't just ban the GED only for one purpose. Okay, hun? The GED isn't available on the wide market. It's used in one place. It is used for a singular purpose, which means all this here is a whole bunch of lies with meaningless, non related lawsuits used to justify it. And let's throw on a heavy Republican topping of states versus federal to confuse it even further. Because that's all I'm seeing here. Making Elaine seem like an amateur in the word salad department. Just as we require a clear statement that interpreting a statute in the instance, we required an explicit authorization from Congress before we will permit an agency to regulate in an area that offers the balance of powers between states and federal government. Oh, Jesus Christ. Explain to me how banning the GED device in any way upsets the balance of powers between federal and state. Explain to me how protecting disabled kids from a device that has been known to put kids in ERs with third and second degree burns in any way affects the balances of power in state. Because it doesn't. At all. Who paid you, first off? And who wrote this crap? Was it Matthew Israel? Because it sounds a lot like the Matthew Israel word salad we have read on this channel before. Was it Glenda Cook? In the American Bar Association, a federal agency in that the case of the Federal Trade Commission attempted to regulate the practice of law. Again, what does this have to do with the price of beans? We held that it could not do so absent of explicit authorization from Congress. In this case, the Food and Drug Administration attempts to regulate the practice of medicine not only without explicit authorization from Congress, but in the face of an explicit congressional command not to do so. Again, how are they interfering with medicine, Karen? Before we get off here, in banning a device that has been known to put people in ERs, to cause catatonic states. A device that we have seen to be used on a person to torture them into that catatonic state. When you watch that Andre McCollin's video, screaming, begging for help, are you going to sit there, turn around, and tell me that's medicine? Is that what you're going to tell me? Are you going to tell me that you are allowed to torture disabled people with impunity, with no checks and balances whatsoever, as long as the doctor calls it treatment? And that to do so, the doctor, not the person being tortured, not the disabled kid, but the doctor is protected by the Constitution for their right to torture us. And we have no rights to any kind of protection whatsoever. Because that's what you're arguing here, DC Circuit Court. You can try to dress it up any way that you want to, but at the end of the day, you are trying to tell disabled people in this country that not only are we not protected, but that we don't deserve protection. That the doctors who prescribe aversive therapies, doctors who prescribe these therapies that are designed to torture us into some kind of form of their fantastical idea of normality, they deserve to be protected. But we're not. Nor do you feel like we should have any kind of constitutional backing to fight against our torture and treatment. That's what this says here. That's what you're trying to tell us. At least that's what it seems like to me. Throughout this gigantic word salad that you all call a court decision, I have seen no rational explanation for the reason that you felt like you had the right to interfere with an FDA ban. What I'm seeing is 1,000 straw man arguments, out and out falsification and lies, and defenses that might have well been lifted directly from the handbook put out by the JRC. You have not taken into consideration literally anything that has been concluded throughout the FDA hearings or in the FDA ban decision. You have not even read the fact that this particular device has never been approved by the FDA whatsoever, period. Or the fact that that is stated implicitly several times throughout the entirety of the hearing documents as well as the FDA 2020 decision. This is you trying to bullshit the public and to allowing this horrific and barbaric practice to continue to go on with impunity. We're not going to go away, DC. We haven't gone away, some of us, in 3 decades. There is no threat, no bribe, no form of intimidation, no form of Republican talking points, word salad mixed with Matthew Israel psychobabble that is going to make us disappear until you free the students from this horrific practice. We're going to close on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I'll see you next vid. Bye-bye, everyone.